excited that you are here this morning on this snowy morning. I bundled all up this morning. Oh, coming over to see you. I had to wear a scarf because it's so cold out. I wore my mittens. And I am right now in the Mediterranean room at the Oak Park Conservatory. And that's where we're going to talk about winter play. Now, when you look outside in the wintertime, you see lots of white and snow. There's not very many leaves on the trees because the trees are in what we call hibernation. But if you look around where I am this morning, you see lots of green. And again, that is because I'm at the conservatory in Oak Park. Well, this morning, we're going to start off by my sharing a story with you, and it has something to do with mittens. That's why I wore my mittens this morning. All right. I'm so excited to be here with you this morning. Oh, I hope you're nice and warm. The story I'm going to share with you this morning is called The Mittens, and it is a Ukrainian folk tale. And here we go. It was a cold and windy winter morning, and the little boy hustled up the path, dragging his sled behind him. He was dressed for snowy adventures, from his knit cap to his warm boots to his 2 soft mittens, which hung from his sleeves on a piece of string so he wouldn't lose them. The boy headed to his favorite spot, a humongous hill, perfect for sledding. He dashed through the trees, eager for the first long slide across the snow. But as he jumped over the stone wall at the top of the hill, one of his mittens caught on a branch. The boy was going so fast, he barely felt the small tug of the mitten before the string gave way. He was out of sight and down the hill, and his mitten hadn't even hit the snow. All was very quiet. Then tiny shivering mouse darted out from the stone wall, saw the cozy mitten, and crept right in. Oh my. Next, Fox wandered by. Well, Fox thought, what a snug place this is. And she discovered the mitten and crawled inside. And Mouse and Bunny, who were in the mitten, moved over to make room for Fox. The wind blew through the treetops and swirled down the lane. Lynx padded out of the forest and saw the mitten. What's this, he thought. How charming. And she nuzzled the mitten open and she squeezed herself inside. All the animals cuddled close together in the warm ball of fur. The wind was still for a moment. Then Wolf came lopping down the hill. Up the other side came Bear. You first, said Bear. No, you go, said Wolf. And they ended up jostling and cramming their way into the mitten. Look how big the mitten's getting with all the animals inside. Now the mitten's knitting was strong and true, but even so, the mitten was getting stretched to its limit. Whoa, poor Mouse. Mouse was at the bottom of the pile. I need more room, he thought, and found a nice soft spot right on Bunny's belly. He wiggled his whiskers happily, which tickled Bunny's tummy. Bunny started to giggle and twitch, and his ears tickled Fox's chin. Fox snickered and shifted her tail, which brushed up against Lynx's paws. Lynx chuckled and rolled onto her back, her fluffy tufted ears making Wolf's muzzle twitch. Wolf howled with laughter, and all that wiggling and shifting made Bear laugh too. Well, all of that movement was way too much for the little mitten. And pop, out tumbled Bear and Wolf and Lynx and Fox and Bunny, and off they ran back to their homes, laughing themselves silly all the way home. It was the time of year when the sun set early, so it wasn't long before the boy made his way back up the hill. He was just about to step over the stone wall, and he saw something red in the snow. "My mitten," he said, and he picked it up. "Oh my," he said, "this mitten is so much bigger than it was before." Puzzled, he turned it over in his hand, and deep inside the mitten, something was moving, and suddenly a wee little head with velvety ears and a quivering whiskers peeked out over the cuff. It was Mouse. "Oh," cried the boy, "hello, little fellow. Have you found yourself a home in my mitten?" Mouse groomed his whiskers contentedly and crawled back down into the cozy nest that he made in the mitten. Thought the boy, "I'll take you home, and you may live in my mitten as long as you like and be my friend." The boy put on his mitten, cupped his hand very gently around Mouse, dragging his sled behind him, and headed home to his warm home across the snow. So Mouse has found a new home in the mitten. Okay. Now we're going to get to do something. We're going to get to make something special this morning. You have a bag that looks something like this. And if you can take your bag right now and take out the brown paper bag and take out this bag that says puppets. Now inside this bag, you'll find a mitten. You're going to have your own mitten. And you're going to find some cut out puppets. You've got the mouse and the rabbit and the cricket and a bear and a fox. You also have your own glue stick. That's fun. And you have your own crayons. Okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to take your mitten and turn your mitten over, and you open up your glue stick, and you're going to put glue all over the back of your mitten. Just smush it all around on there. Make sure you put enough so it's going to stick. After you put the glue on your mitten, then you're going to take your paper bag, and you're going to put the cuff of the mitten onto the paper bag by the opening. You put it down, and then you run your hand on it to make it stick. So you have your paper bag with a mitten on it.
Do you want to check in with everybody?
All right.
How's that going, guys?
Make sure you've put your glue on and put it down on the paper bag. Now, if some of you have already glued down your mitten, you want to take a look at your animals. Now, we don't have time, I'm so sorry, to color all the animals, but later on today, maybe after nap time or maybe this evening when you have a chance, you can color them, but pick one that you want to color this morning with your crayons. And I chose to color the fox. So open up your crayons, take out a crayon, and see if you can color the fox. He was one of the animals that we talked about in the story. Or maybe you want to do the mouse, whichever one you choose. It will be wonderful. Now, after you color your animal, whichever one you chose, then you want to take one of the sticks, these look like popsicle sticks, take your glue stick again, and you're going to put glue all over the back of the stick. Then you're going to take your stick, take your animal, and you're going to glue the stick on the back of the animal. So if you tell the story about the mitten, you can take your animal and it can go inside the mitten. Now we're only going to do one this morning, and you can finish up the other animals later on today. So remember, glue on the stick. You put the stick on the back of the animal, push it down. It should stick. And now you can have your animal hop, 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 and into the mitten to keep nice and warm. All right? Oh, wonderful job. Do you want to do one more animal? And then we're going to put this away and we have something else we're going to work on.
I think we should move on.
Okay? Oh, I hope you enjoyed. You can retell the story of the mitten, and you can tell and put the animals inside. You could be the storyteller tonight, maybe after dinner. So I'm going to put all of my puppets back in the bag, 'cause I'll have to finish mine later too. And there we go. Now, while you're cleaning up, I have a little finger play that I'm going to share with you. And this one is called Mitten Mitten. And you sing it to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And here we go. Mitten, mitten, where are you? I have one. I used to have two. Up in the hayloft I did check, found nothing there but a stick. Mitten, mitten, where are you? I have one. Oh, I used to have two. Okay, I hope you've had fun with the story, The Mitten, and our project that we did on with the animals and making your own mitten. And boys and girls, you can color and design the outside of your mitten also. And here are some mittens hanging here to give you some ideas. You can put a snowman on it. You can put a star. You can put circles, triangles, shapes. So you can also decorate your mitten. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take out of your bag the large white piece of paper that you have, and then you have a white envelope that says snowman and playmat. We're going to work on making a playmat. So right now you have a white piece of paper and you have an envelope. And if you take all the pieces out of this envelope, you're going to find you have a mountain, an igloo that's not made out of snow in the wintertime. You have some pine trees and you have a little pond. Now you might be thinking, what? Here's what it's going to look like when you start to glue your pieces down. Now, this is just an idea of what mine looks like. Yours doesn't have to look like this. You can put your pieces wherever you want to put them. Again, you're going to need your glue, your glue stick, and what you do is you put glue on that folded piece, put it down nice and easy, and then you decide where you want to place it on the mat. Maybe I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to make it look different than the other one. Oh, the mountains. Glue goes on that strip on the bottom. Make sure you put enough so it sticks. I think I'll put my mountain over here this time. Oh. Igloo. Wherever you want to place it. Then you have a couple trees. Again, you can put them anywhere you want them. Oh, and the pond. We have to put the pond somewhere. Wherever you think it looks good. Now in the plastic bag, you're also going to find a couple pine cones. I know you've seen pine cones before, so you could place those on your play mat also. You can move them around. Okay. Now comes a real fun thing to do. And boys and girls, if you don't finish right now, you could work on this later on today. Doesn't have to be completed right now. Now comes the fun part. In the bag, you have a ball, and this is Play-Doh. So if you take out the Play-Doh, just kind of squish it around in your hands a little bit. That is so much fun. You can almost make like a pancake and then fold it over, just squish it through your fingers and feel the Play-Doh just kind of going through your fingers. Doesn't that feel fun? Oh, it's so soft. Oh, I love playing with Play-Doh. And you can, we're going to make something in a minute or two. And then later on today, you can make it back, create something else with the Play-Doh. Make something else. Maybe you want to make an igloo. I don't know. But that's what's the fun with Play-Doh. You can make whatever you want. Okay, now you take your Play-Doh and you're going to make it into 3 balls. You're going to want a big ball, a medium-sized one, and a little one. I bet you're thinking, I know what she's going to make. I know what she's doing. Now, you take the big ball. You're going to take the medium-sized one and put it on top of the big one. You're going to take the little one and that goes on top of the medium-sized one. I bet you're going, I know what she's making. I know what she's making. You have 2 sticks for arms. You have a little red piece of yarn for a scarf. I know you all figured it out already. Oh, you're so smart. And then you have a little hat that you can color when you get a chance, and that becomes the snowman's hat. And he can sit anywhere on your playmat, anywhere you want him or her to be. Over here, I put him by the pond. Over here, I put him by the mountains. And you know what? While you're working on making your snowman, I'm going to read a quick story. The story I'm going to share today is Frosty the Snowman. And I'm sure many of you have heard this story already. Keep working on your snowman. Frosty the Snowman was a jolly, happy soul. He had a corncob pipe, he had a button nose, and he had 2 eyes made out of coal. And he had a scarf. Look at all the little animals that came to see Frosty. All his friends, and they all have scarves on too. It must be cold. Frosty the Snowman is a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow. Oh, but the children know how he came to life one day. And here's the children now, and look at them. Boots, coats, scarves, hats, mittens. There comes our mittens again. And then there's this little thing over here. Wonder how that fits into the story. Well, there must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found. For when they placed it on Frosty's head, he began to dance around. And the children were laughing. They thought, this is really great. Oh, Frosty the Snowman was as live as he could be. And the children say he could laugh and play just the same as you and me. So here they're playing in the snow. They're throwing snowballs at each other. So is Frosty. They look like they're really, really having a fun day in the snow. Now, Frosty the Snowman knew the sun was hot that day. So he said, let's run and we'll have some fun before he begins to melt. The sun would cause Frosty to melt. Frosty has to be where it's nice and cold. Down to the village with the broomstick in his hand, running here and there all around the square saying, come on, catch me if you can. He led them down the streets of town right to the traffic cop. And he only paused a moment when he heard him holler, stop. They all stayed in line and they all stopped when the policeman blew his whistle and said, stop. For Frosty the Snowman had to hurry on his way. But he waved goodbye, saying, oh, don't you cry. I'll be back again someday. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, look at Frosty go. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, over the hills of snow. And this kind of looks like the placemat that you just made. And that's the story of Frosty the Snowman. Now, by now you should have worked on your playmat, and maybe you have your snowman. And later on today, if you don't want to keep your snowman, take out the arms, take off the scarf and the hat. You can make this clay into a ball again, and you can create something else. All right. Well, boys and girls, we are just about running out of time this morning. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me at the Oak Park Conservatory, making your mittens and your puppets. Don't forget, decorate the bag, decorate your mitten, and then making your play mat and your snowman. Boys and girls, I had an absolutely wonderful time with you this morning. And I hope next month, when we're going to talk about sounds in nature, you'll be able to join again, and we'll be making some new crafts. I am just so excited, and I had a wonderful time this morning. I hope you had a wonderful time. Now it's time for me to go back outside, so I need to bundle up again. Oh, I can't forget my mittens. Bye-bye, boys and girls.